I think I'll start the stream by telling what happened in southern Sweden. As you know, I spent my Christmas there, and a lot of fun stories, a lot of weird stories, but most importantly, I want to tell you what happened last night. Last night was a fucking experience, alright? If you don't know what happened to me, I had to spend my night sleeping at a McDonald's. Worst time of my life, honestly. I can't tell you how fucking miserable I was. Alright, so this is what happened. My mother and I booked a ticket for northern Sweden again. You know, I need to travel back eventually, too. So, what happened was that we booked a ticket, and it said that the time of, the arrival would take around, like the whole thing will be around, from 7 p.m. till 6 a.m. And I thought, well, you know what? That's great. I can sleep on the train. And I'm sure they'll do some sort of, like, stop where, the train, you know, I can sleep on the train or whatever. So I get on the train, and the first thing is that there's a screaming fucking child that, he has an iPad. And he's, like, screaming while playing video games. He's like, "Aah!" Like this. I don't know if this kid had ADD or something like that, but I think it was playing Terraria on the iPad, and he's like screaming the names of every enemy he sees, and he's like singing it. It was just miserable. And his dad, I mean, what a fucking spineless dad. He's like, "Hey, stop that. All the people are trying to sleep here now." You know, I'm like, just take the iPad from him, you fucking poop. Anyway, so throughout this entire trip, I'm miserable. I'm just like, dear God, I can't. Here's the thing. To go to where I live from where my mother lives, I have to take a train and then a bus. And I thought, well, if I can't sleep on the train, at least I can sleep on the bus. Right? But once I get to there's like a checkpoint in between when the train and the bus begins in the bus trip. It stops there, the train, and I'm just like, oh, thank God that shit was over. I take my case at the train and to the bus terminal, and I look at the schedule and I go, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Where's the bus times? The whole thing is blank. And I go, what? No, wait, what? And I scratch my head and I start to like panic a little bit because I think, well, wait a minute. You know what? I'm sure there's some sort of like technical crap about this that it's not showing up. I'm just gonna wait here. And I thought, that sucks. It sucks. But at least I can, I don't know, sleep a little bit on the bus terminal. So I sit down, and there's not a fucking soul in the bus terminal. And it's spooky, it's dark, it's cold. I can't even begin to tell you how cold it was in Sweden. Hang on. You know how cold it was? It was minus 25 Fahrenheit. I was so fucking cold. I'm serious. So I'm sitting there like shivering, like, oh my God, let me go home, please. And thank God I packed 2 jackets. So I sit down, and I'm just like, alright, the bus will get here eventually. But it doesn't come. The bus does not fucking come. Like, there's not a bus in sight. And eventually a police cop shows up, and he's like, hey, buddy, you can't sleep here. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? You can't sleep here. And I go, well, if I can't sleep here, am I supposed to wait outside for the bus? And he's like, no, there's no bus. And I go, what? And then it sinks into me. I must have missed my bus or something, because there's no bus coming, and the only way to, like, sit through this is to just bite the sour apple. So now I realize I have to spend my day in a foreign city with no money and no phone. I'm an idiot. I didn't pack my smartphone or nothing like that. But, and I think, alright, well, I guess I can check into a hotel until the morning. Because there's always buses the next day, you know. So I check in a hotel, and I asked, like, what's the money or the cost of a room. Every room is greater than the money I have for the bus trip, so I can't sleep anywhere. I can't sleep outside, or else I get pneumonia and die. And the only place that's currently open is a fucking McDonald's. And I go, oh, please, God, no. No. So, I go to the McDonald's, and I'm just miserable. I'm freezing. And I wait in line, and they're like, I can take your order, please. And I go, alright, listen, this sounds fucked up. Can I sleep here? And they scratch their head, and they look at each other like, You some kind of hobo? I'm just like, no, I just have no money. I need to spend the night someplace. And they go, I guess. And keep in mind, this was on the weekends, and at this late, at like 1 a.m., what do people do after they drink? They go to McDonald's and get burgers. And I'm just like, alright, okay, this sucks dick. So I sit down, I get no burgers, I barely have any money for for any food. I sit down amongst drunk people that are loud and like fighting with each other. I'm just like, let me sleep, do something. And I'm just like sitting there with my hands, you know, my face resting in my palm of my hands. I go just like, oh God, just kill me. And I sit at a McDonald's for 7 hours. I get here 23, and it's like 6. I sit at a fucking McDonald's sleeping for fucking 7 hours. And I wouldn't even call it sleep. It was more like being awake and sleep deprivation. Because eventually a cop shows up, like, you know, taps me, and he goes like, hey, you can't sleep here, you drunkie. I'm just like, oh, please, do not fuck with me right now. He thought I was drunk. Like, he thought I was drunk and I had slept off. But I was like, I rose up and I was like, listen, friend. Listen here, buddy, old pal. I am in a city I do not know. I need sleep. I'm entirely sober. I just have no place to go. And he's like, well, you can't sleep here. I'm just like, or else. He's like, you're all be sleeping in a cell. I'm just like, are you fucking serious? So I sit up and I'm just like, okay, not only can I not sleep, but I also need to keep myself awake at McDonald's with drunk people. And I'm just like, and I have a headache, and I'm just like, death. I've never wished for death more. So I sit around until 6 a.m. at a McDonald's. It's open 24 hours. So I'm just like, eventually I get on the bus. I have never slept so uncomfortably in my life on a bus, but I've never had such a good sleep at the same time. So eventually I get back, and you know, it's even colder in northern Sweden. I get my case out and I just drag myself home. I literally like kick the door open to my apartment, and I go down like a tree on the bed. I'm just like, you know, and I just immediately. That sucked cock. Alright. That was the fucking worst. Alright. And you learn something. You learn something from some, you know, you learn new things every day. And you know what I learned? Always have a smartphone or a book or something so you can like occupy yourself with something. Because you know what I had to do for 6 hours? Listen to drunk people talk about penis, you know? Ugh. What a day. What a night. But I had a good time at my mother's place and all that, but oh man.